here's what we're carrying in 2069. So let's check it out. If this is my fit in 2069, I ain't even mad. But seriously, rate it between 1 or 7 pineapples in the comments below. So starting things off right with what may be an actual flashlight from the future, Loop Gear totally thought outside the box with this one, and one of the very few companies innovating in the flashlight space. Because while this isn't the brightest, longest lasting, or even that quick, it's the first I've seen with what they call a multifunctional bracket. Basically, if a multi-tool made love to a flashlight. Turns out they'd make the coolest babies. There's a hybrid blade and bottle opener hidden inside, and in no way will this replace your actual tool set, but having a tiny pecker on hand never hurts for those Amazon packages you're trying to hide from your girlfriend. The slider clicks into place and even locks away so you don't poke your other tools in your pants, but the whole mechanical arm-like design makes this feel like some Transformer robot light. However, it is useful too, doubling as a light stand on the table, an adjustable belt clip for hands-free viewing, but the real benefit is just how cool it is to show off to others. It doesn't end there. Combine that with this center ring and bam, it's a freaking lantern, and the multiple colors of collars to choose from makes it feel like you now own several flashlights built into one. The main flashlight can output 1,000 lumens on turbo mode, more than enough to find your keys under the couch, and they do have a regular clip too for a less bulky solution to ensure your girlfriend doesn't lose you in the crowd. The swappable battery is USB-C rechargeable and is actually rated to last over 2 years on its lowest mode, while also being water resistant, because why not at this point? It may be 2069, but you still have to tell the time. So while Apple Watches of the future may just be implanted into your hands or something, until then, the Aulumu A11 watch bands will ensure you look like a time traveler because, well, magnets. The metal buckle, thick and soft strap, combined with the printed design, all comes together to help your watch feel like a total mechanical tool that Iron Man would probably be using. However, if you're familiar with the channel, the black on black option is definitely our favorite. It's stealthy, looks tougher, and who knew adding just a few shapes on the band would instantly make it feel futuristic. The Velcro patch ensures you don't accidentally knock it off either, and the added stretch keeps it tight while also letting you properly sweat. So we ran it through our daily watch tests, rubbing it on pockets, hitting every door, table, and ledge we could find, yet it stayed in place without ever unbuckling itself. The edges of the band and the rounded off metal doesn't cut into my skin even at the tightest setting, and personally I do prefer cloth straps as it won't scratch up whatever surface I lay my hands on, and while it is technically waterproof, it will however soak up some water in the process like any pair of cloth underwear would. So you've been warned. Now when it comes to AirPods, my number one concern is trying not to lose them. So what better solution than to add an actual door to keep them secured in place. The A09 AirPods case not only looks like it belongs in an art gallery, but the added bulk is actually useful too. The air gaps are designed to absorb impact before it gets to your AirPods, combined with the semi-permanent top installation, click shut door, and even a dedicated Velcro strap to double ensure you don't drop it to begin with. It's also great to hang it by your desk, clipped onto your bag, or even strapped into your cap strap. As you know, this case isn't opening on its own, but if you really suck at holding things, it can handle your daily tossing, dropping, and rolling around too, ensuring that when you do open the case, you don't find a AirPod missing. That being said, it's not indestructible, so don't go rage quitting hoping the case will solve all your relationship problems. However, do know this is very satisfying to do, and you may finally be able to feel a glimmer of happiness. Don't worry, it does come in black too. Even with the straight edges and added bulk though, they surprisingly feel really good in the hand. Plus, the metal door and clip gives your AirPods a premium feel too, and it can still wirelessly charge. And I know you've done this before, randomly balancing objects when you're bored onto other objects too. So this can do it all. Links and details down below. If you were to ask me what I thought the future looked like, well, dbrand's new Hydrodip skins sort of capture it really well. It'd be a little dystopian, and a lot of just combining what's worked to make it even better. So who knew a grip case that prevents you from dropping your phone could also be just as good at protecting it when you do? Because we may be living in the future, but they somehow still haven't cured your Butterfingers. Thankfully, they also offer raised buttons that not only feel good, but sound just as satisfying, with plenty of lip around back to cover what matters the most, and raised top and bottom edges around the front screen too, which not only makes it feel slimmer in the middle, it's got just enough to handle all of this. However, the star of the show are these rubber-like patches on the sides. When combined with this micro-textured finish, which sort of feels like rubbery sandpaper, it ensures your fingers will always have something to hold on to. The best part, the grip doesn't affect its usage elsewhere, being able to slide in and out of your pockets without catching onto your skinny jeans, which are so 2049. The star of the show is how customizable it is though, and this new Hydrodip skin gives off a slight holographic finish, sort of like pulling a PSA 7 Charizard for the nerds in the back. There's also just something gratifying about aligning a sticker properly, like you've built this case yourself. And don't worry, yes, you can do it too. So what type of high are you? Because this green and blue combo totally slaps. Tucked in up top is a retro yet futuristic approach to external batteries. If you've seen these advertised all over TikTok like I have, don't worry, I bought it so you don't have to wonder if it actually works. First and foremost, the GT01 itself is quite expensive for what you get. Essentially, a flimsy feeling plastic shell and the dual batteries are sold separately runs you even more. However, you're not buying a battery, you're buying this. And I can confirm it is as fun to do as it looks. By no means will this be the fastest, strongest, or even remotely smartest battery to get, but if you've always wanted to reload your batteries, I don't think you could achieve that anywhere else. But look, it's still a functioning battery with a 20-watt USB-C output, as the value comes from the batteries you slide into it. Hence what this shell is all about. The 21700 batteries have about 5000 milliamps of capacity, more than enough to charge up your iPhone at least once, but if you carry a few of these around, which is much smaller than carrying multiple battery banks, you'll be able to swap them in and out as you need. The batteries themselves come with a pouch, and when strapped onto your belt, it will help you remember what it was like to be a dad in 1997. First off, for this, you can't buy it right now. Secondly, you will unfortunately most definitely want to, and I highly recommend you follow them on Instagram to know when their next drop is, because this hawk knife design shortcut blade is one of the most unique, cool, and just fun tool I've ever discovered. The hawk knife designers might actually be from the future. Now, I love utility blades, as I can simply swap them out when they get dull without buying a whole new handle, but combined with the ergonomics of this and the snap when it flicks open, it's now the one to beat in my books. The latch lock mechanism takes a bit of getting used to though, but it's a small price to pay to get everything else done perfectly. It's also got a spring-loaded pocket clip, which is so extra, but also it's the tiny details that can justify the price of this. They went all out, and it definitely shows. Aesthetically, it gives steampunk vibes, and the engraved and enlarged logo stands out from others who simply just etched themselves into a corner. Plus, for how easy it is to deploy, it stays just as tight to avoid any mishaps too. The titanium build is no joke, and also means it's one less thing you need to worry about tossing around. Now personally, I love the look of a straight edge, and when swapped in and flipped open on this, it really highlights you mean business, while also letting you be a kid at heart, because that spring-loaded clip is basically a free fidget toy too. If you've ever watched any movie set in the future, they always idolize some relic of the past. In our case, it's the Game Boy consoles of the 90s. Thankfully, the Anbernic RG35XXH is all your nostalgia packed into one device. With a full button set, dual joysticks, and shoulder buttons too, it may look like a Game Boy Micro or Nintendo Switch for those born in a year starting with the 2, but it's got all your classics built in. Every Game Boy you can imagine, PSP, and even handling full console games up to PlayStation 1. Full disclosure, you should own the real deal if you're going to emulate any game, but I will say that several files were included on the microSD in the package, and I will not confirm or deny that they were more than enough to keep you busy on your commutes to work. Although I am curious, Final Fantasy Tactics on the Game Boy Advance is my all-time go-to retro game, but comment what yours is down below that you obviously legally own as well. Although a little tight in spacing, the buttons are clicky, and I am a fan of the rectangular shape. It's not winning any awards for ergonomics, but the rubber strips around back do give your fingers something to feel up while playing. Now, having done this for many versions now, they've essentially gotten pretty good at designing these where it almost feels like it's from the big name manufacturers themselves. No loose pieces, smooth edges all around, and all packed inside the size of my iPhone 15 Pro, which unlike the Switch and Steam Decks of today, this brings back the true meaning of a pocket console. Oh, and the transparent design is cool, but the matte black, come on. And yeah, it even has an HDMI port. So now everyone can see you suck. Get it? Because it's Kirby. This may be the future me, but I already know I still hate flying. So you know I've got to have a fidget toy on standby, and the 01 EDC pop slider has been my go-to lately for its unique sliding door design. Unlike other toys that click, slide, or spin, this one can be done with a whip. It's a chunk of metal that's just smaller than a regular Zippo, but the engravings go hard. And if you've ever flicked open a Zippo, this is similar to that feeling without the heat. The ratchet enclosure also satisfies every cell in my brain, and while everyone else around you will probably hate you, this is so addictive. It's worth all of the side eye that you're definitely going to get. The size is manageable in your pocket and in the hand, but in the end, it's like an incomplete flick. So you keep going back and trying again and again and again. It's a fact of life that it's always better around back, and it still holds true here with the Aviator slide wallet and their clear acrylic shell finish, utilizing a standard pull tab that can be adjusted to hold up to 20 cards for the dads watching in the back, combined with a storage tray for essentials that you don't want to lose into the abyss you call a pocket. Don't worry, it is removable if you want to stay minimal, but the tray is surprisingly luxurious, with felt lining and even a smooth bottom for easy removal and insertion. The single elastic is strong enough to hold everything in place, even through my scientific shake tests. Unfortunately, it's still not strong enough to keep your life together. But don't worry, because unscrewing the back plates, you can actually adjust it to fit even more of your problems inside. So we stuffed it all in, and you're staring at what may be the thinnest wallet to hold 20 cards. Your dad would be proud, especially since it's still fully operational and now even easier to find your Trader Joe's points cards too. They've even managed to gracefully store an AirTag, as I can imagine signing up for all those points cards again would be a total hassle, yet I know you'd still do it. But if you can avoid it, why the heck not? Realistically though, you probably only carry a handful of cards, some cash, and want to make sure you don't lose it, because unfortunately this won't fit your daily essentials. However, with how sick this looks and durable it feels, you won't have any issues finding the one when you go to pull out your 2 Kendine coupons stored inside. Health trackers are so 2039, but trackers that look like jewelry, now that's functional style, especially when it comes in a clean and sleek matte black, and it's made of titanium, so you don't have to treat it like a glorified step counting watch. Sign me up, or don't, because the Ultrahuman Air Health Tracker ring doesn't require a subscription to use, and that may be enough reason for most people who are looking for some basic understanding of how their body is actually doing. I find it really shines when it comes to sleep tracking, as wearing a ring is pretty natural feeling. It doesn't require a whole device wrapped around your arm, and won't hurt anyone if you tend to swing your whole body around while in deep sleep. Fair warning, take what any health tracker data says with a grain of salt, but understanding the general trends of your sleeping patterns is a good indicator of what's working and what's not working during the day for you. Now, it's no replacement for a workout tracker, as it does get in the way while gripping anything, but if you don't care for that, the step and general movement tracker can still tell you how lazy you are too. Otherwise, the best part is that it's basically not there. You can continue going about your day, almost forgetting it's on your finger. Combine that with its 4 to 5 days of battery before charging, it's the best behind the scenes tracker that I've tested so far. The whole experience from start to finish has been pleasant, with the sizing kit to find the right fit, no subscription fees to have to worry about, and being able to confidently see that the 4 hours of sleep for the last week is probably why I'm downing my 4th cup of coffee right now. An external hard drive magnetically attached to your iPhone is a pretty specific use case, but futuristic nonetheless, given just a few years ago you were rocking 16 gigabytes of storage only. The Hagibis M2 SSD MagSafe Enclosure is a hard drive specifically designed to fit onto MagSafe compatible phones, with USB-C cables to match its exact length too. And while it's more so designed mainly for heavy camera users, it can totally also be used to simply store all your accounting files too. Its slim design means you can continue using your phone one-handed, and the magnets built in keep it in place even through my everyday slip and slide scenarios. The best part though, it's just a USB-C connection, so you can use it like any thumb drive you'd carry around for your laptop, as it offers some decent transfer speeds for its size too. Plus, if you really want to build it out, the other side is also MagSafe, so stacks on stacks on stacks, but also perfectly fitting a pop socket, so you can comfortably carry around what may be the first 3 terabyte iPhone. That's a lot of washroom selfies. Now I know y'all are begging for this fit, so what are the odds that Rama Works made the slickest jumpsuit so that you look like an F1 tire changer at the first ever Grand Prix hosted on Mars or something? The EXO branding on this not only looks cool, but is part of their design philosophy, and for the pocket hoarders out there, this is the end game. It may be the last piece of clothing that anyone will ever find you wearing, because you may never take this off. Let me know down below what character we should do next. Deadpool or Joker EDC. But that's it. I rest my futuristic tech. Look at this. Look at this roll. Oh yeah.